Welcome back. This is Tom, the Disabled Prepper. And so this is the next installment in my That's Armageddon series. And I wanted to kind of give an overview of the series, what it's about, what it's not about. I'm going to be discussing things spoken of in the Bible, but I'm not going to preach. It's not my place to preach. I'm not a preacher. I just want to reference the things that are spoken of in the Bible and how we as preppers can prepare for these events happening. I'm not going to discuss politics. That's not what this is about. I try to avoid politics as much as possible because it's so ugly and divisive, and so don't want to do that here. I want this to be a discussion, so I'm hoping you all will leave a lot of comments for me. And I'm going to present this in a timeline format. In fact, I'm going to have a graphic attached in here on how I see the timeline, the stage of events, as I discussed a little bit in the introduction to That's Armageddon series. I believe that basically I've kind of divided time into 3 chapters. Now, biblically speaking, the big dividing line in the Bible is what's called the abomination of desolation. And that is when the Antichrist is going to be in the Jewish temple and is going to proclaim himself God, and then as the story goes, is going to sacrifice a pig on the altar. Okay, so everything after the abomination of desolation I call the Great Tribulation. Some years before the abomination of desolation I'm going to call the tribulation, and the third point of time that we're in right now, and you can see in that graphic, this is just the way I'm dividing it. I'm just calling it present day. And that is what's going to happen is the things we're experiencing are going to continue to increase. This timeline in present day also goes back close to about 10 years, because what I want to include in there is the major hurricanes we had previously over the last 7 years or so, Katrina, Sandy, and also I want to include in it the 9.0 earthquake off of Japan that destroyed the seawall, caused the meltdown of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, and the corresponding tsunami that just did tremendous amount of damage in Japan. So I want all of that to be in the current chapter, so to speak, that we're in right now. And like I say, when you look at that graphic, you'll see in our current time, and then the things we're going to continue to go through, they're going to continue to escalate, as I described, in a birth pangs kind of way. And then we're going to get to a point where the whole world is going to be so chaotic and so horrible with riots and plagues, famines, floods, earthquakes, all of that. That's going to increase to the point to where the whole world is going to look for someone to help solve these problems. And as I'm sure most people really kind of know, that person's going to end up being the Antichrist. So this is going to be kind of a world ruler person, and who will eventually, like I say, is going to do this thing in the Jewish temple. And so we're in present day, go back about 10 years to where we are about now, and our near future. Then our next chapter is going to be from that point to where this world ruler exposes himself as the Antichrist. And then the third chapter is going to be the Great Tribulation, everything after that. So that's how this information is kind of divided, how I divided it, just to make it easier for me to present it to you so we can have a discussion on how we can prepare for this. Okay, so there we go. That's the next installment on my That's Armageddon series, and keep a lookout for the installments thereafter. Okay, and remember to always keep your nose in the wind and your eyes along the skyline. Until we meet again. Bye.